Well, hello and welcome to the Arcade Veteran. Today I want to go through the Doctor 64 or the V64 by Bung Enterprises Limited. This was a device that came out in 1996. It had a bit of a checkered history. It was originally released as probably a backup device. I suppose that was its real intention, but it was used as a development console as well as a development system. That little adapter allows the lockout chip to be used in conjunction with the system. But the main features of the unit, like I say, it was used by developers. It was used as a backup system for getting around, using it as a cheat system. You could play backup games on the machine. So what is it? Basically it was a CD add-on. As you can see, my unit has a DVD drive inside, and basically could use any sort of IDE compatible interface. So it did come with a CD drive installed. This, just like I say, it's just been upgraded to a DVD. You could fit a compact flash, any number of things that could be connected to an IDE. Obviously this system could use it. You had some basic control buttons on the top and a basic controller interface. This is the interface, which is like a text style, and you can use it to test the system's RAM, check the system's operating properly before you obviously go and play games on it. It didn't come out of the box playing games. People modified this system to allow it to play backups, but you could download ROMs onto your PC and then burn them and all that sort of stuff. So it's a very clever machine back in the day. You access this menu which basically read what was on the CD, and if you had game ROM backups on there, you could just use these buttons to negotiate down to which game you wanted to play. You'd press the load button and there you go, it's loading the game off the CD into the RAM memory chips, and then once it's finished loading all of that on board, you can then it instructs you then to turn on the N64, and basically it replicates a cartridge. Now, if that's a game that you've dumped and put it on the CD drive, then obviously this is what you can do. It plays no differently to an actual cartridge, because it is basically imitating the cartridge underneath through the expansion port. So what's inside the Doctor 64? This is a unit I bought many years ago just for spare parts, really. Maybe one day I'll see if I can get it working, but at the moment it just sits there waiting for parts. Inside you've got a daughter board which configures and controls all the buttons to the interface. Bit yellowed, that shield. I should really give that a retro biting maybe. I think this is like one of the 128 meg sticks. That's what it came with when you bought it. You could rate it and add another card to bring it up to 256 for when bigger games came out. This is that's the CD drive basically in the base there. That's the little cubby hole where you can change the RAM cards, which was quite handy if you wanted to add some more memory to the system. So the motherboard, nice and compact, well designed. So there's the chips that I found on the board. There's an IDE connection down the front. That's your card slot that goes through. That's your BIOS chip. Now those wires on there will become apparent a little bit later on. There's your RAM extension boards. They click into those little connections there, obviously for external swapping. Nice clean board, no bodge wires or anything like that. That's the two power connectors. We've got power in, and obviously a switch inside. On the rear of the unit is an NTSC to power switch. Your inputs and outputs, your power jack in, and a parallel input port to allow it to connect to your PC. This chip here Googles as an MPEG-1 decoder. That Googles as an SRAM. That one I think is like an interface controller, or maybe even the main CPU. It is based apparently on the 6502 chip, which was the chip inside the Nintendo Entertainment System. This one's been modified to allow for an external compact flash, so with the switch on one way you can access the CD or DVD drive. With the switch flicked the other way, it basically allowed this IDE cable to come externally, and you could fit a compact flash or something like that. This one has a dual BIOS, and that's what those wires are going to this chip for, which allowed you to select which BIOS you wanted to boot from, which was quite cool. Looking into the legal dispute between Nintendo and Bung Enterprises, Nintendo felt that Bung had infringed on their copyrights and trademarks in developing the Doctor 64, mainly because it was used to play backups of N64 games, which obviously was illegal, and Nintendo was seeking damages and an injunction to stop them selling any more of the Doctor 64s. Nintendo also argued that the device using the get-around for the lockout chip circumnavigated the N64 security measures, and the courts agreed on that, and Bung had a cease and desist order to stop all sales of the Doctor 64. This kit was also famously used by third-party developers Acclaim to help develop the Turok 3 game, and was used as an unofficial dev kit for that particular game's development. Bung ultimately tried to release this machine as in a different guise. They touted it as a video CD player and an audio player and stuff like that to try and get it round the court case and allow it to be resold in various regions. This is the modern day thing. This is the modern day equivalent, the EverDrive or such like. So, you know, these are the things we've come to get used to now. But the Doctor 64 or the V64, whichever way you want to call it, they were the machine that really started it all off. It was the first commercially available backup device for the N64, which was really good. Like I say, they did get into some legal trouble because they blatantly, obviously, tried to get around the N64 partner program. And there were a lot of dealers that were using, the developers, that were using this to get around it. So it's really cool. So just a quick look at the N64, Doctor V64, should I say. Really cool bit of kit. Don't get used much nowadays because of the EverDrive cards, but really, really cool. So if you made it this far, thank you for watching, and I'll catch you again in the next video. Bye for now.